Alright, peace, 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 my friend. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So this is going to be a reading. Yeah, so without further ado, let's definitely begin. Alright, so first and foremost, let's look at your sun. So you have your sun in Aries, right? In the second house, and then you have your moon in Taurus in the third house, and then your ascendant is in Capricorn, and you have Saturn in Pisces in the second house. So in your chart you have 1, 2, 3, 4. So you have 4 planets in the second house, and what this means is that the second house, which is the house of values, the house that rules money, that rules possessions and everything like that, is a house that's very active. And so then what happens is, in your life, the primary focus revolves around money, you feel me, around possession, around values, around accumulating and having things, as these are all things dealing with and associated with the third house, you feel me, my bad, with the second house. Now also I want to tell you this, with you having your ascendant in Capricorn and then your sun in Aries, and of course also your moon in Taurus, that helps as well. So with these placements, you feel me, you're a sort of individual who should most definitely look into business, you feel me, owning like having a business and owning a business, or it's like an entrepreneurial pursuit, you feel me. And even if it's not like your main thing, looking at this energy right here, I feel like you would benefit and you would value from having like many sources of income, or not just depending on a job, you feel me, to have money. But I may be probably speaking to the choir, you feel me, because looking at your chart, because you have your sun in the second house, but also Mercury is in the second house, and Mars is in the second house as well. Saturn is also in the second house. So the sun deals with the individual, you feel me. This is how you express yourself as an individual in your environment, you feel me. This is the energy that you identify with as well, and this is the me, the I, the self, you feel me. Ultimately is what the sun is. And when you think of the sun, right, the sun shines, so that's in your birth chart. It's how you shine into this world. And when the sun is in Aries, it's very much strong with itself, in the sense that Aries is a sign that deals with the I, the me, but also the sun is exalted in Aries, meaning that the sun does his best job when it's in Aries. And so these are individuals that are natural leaders, you feel me. And this is one of the reasons why I also advise entrepreneurship, you feel me, as Aries is, they're natural leaders. And not only that, but they have an excess amount of energy. They're very energetic, you feel me. Being ruled by Mars, right, the planet of energy, but also being a fire sign, energetic. And so what happens is, Aries, as an Aries, especially as an Aries woman, right, because women are more emotional and thus they have more energy than men. As a Aries woman, it's important that you have constructive channels for releasing, you feel me, these emotions, my bad, not these emotions, but that energy, or otherwise it will start to build up as, like, you know, tension and all this other crap, you feel me. So I feel like that's the first and foremost thing. But then also with your sun being in the second house, whichever house the sun is in, it vitalizes, it gives energy, it gives power. And so the second house is the house of money, the house of wealth, the house of possessions, you feel me. So I don't know like exactly what your experiences with money have been, but seeing that you also have Saturn in the second house, I can see that your experiences with money are of an eventuality, because Saturn is a planet that deals with time, and it deals with long-term things, you feel me, things that will happen after a long effort has been put forth, if this makes sense. And so Saturn is not only in the second house, but Saturn is ruling your first house, you feel me. Your first house is in Capricorn, and so Saturn becomes your second house ruler. And so Saturn is a planet of restriction, of limitation. You feel me? The sun, as we mentioned, is the individuality. So this is the me, the self, the I. But it also signifies like how it is that the me, the self, the I does well and pushes against society, pushes against authority, pushes against boundaries that are bestowed upon us. And so that's your sun. You feel me? How you um, channel your will into the world, technically. But then Saturn is all those things that are trying to restrict you, trying to limit you. So Saturn ultimately manifests as limitations, restrictions, but also systemizations. But a good word for Saturn is also poverty. And especially at this moment, in this time, as we are speaking about, you feel me, your sun, which is in the second, my bad, your Saturn, which is in the second house. So with Saturn being poverty and the second house being the house of money, this is an indication that when it comes to money, you've experienced, impoverished energies. But also, it's like your thoughts and everything like that revolving around money, with Saturn being in the second house, are likely impoverished, where you're not a Jupiterian, like, because Saturn and Jupiter are day and night contrasts. You feel me? So whereas Saturn is expansion and having thoughts that are like more money is gonna come, so I'm gonna spend this money. Saturn is more like there's not enough money. Saturn is scarcity. So Saturn is inclining you towards having thoughts that deal with scarceness, that deal with not having money type energy. You feel what I'm saying? And so what happens here with Saturn is that with Saturn in the second house is that you need to reassess your beliefs around money. You feel what I'm saying? Because you had life experiences in the past that made you think more impoverishedly than abundantly. You feel what I'm saying? But it's like there's a stellium here, so you have no choice but to eventually accumulate money because there's so much activity taking place when it comes to the position of money. But the second house, I want to stress this. It's not only a house of money, but it's a house of possessions and values. You feel me? Things that you value fall into the second house. So let's say you have a skill set that you value. You feel me? That's second house energy. Like with like second house being in Aries, like one thing that may even play out with this energy is like, hold on, I need to try something real quick. Yeah, with second house being in Aries, like one thing that you may even value is like one thing that you may even value is like I was gonna say your literal ability, from your ability to like take charge and lead. For what I'm saying, that's a possibility. But I mean, okay, so we talked about Saturn being in the second house and how with Saturn being in the second house, like poverty and everything like that becomes of great stress. You feel me? A stress indicator or stressor of life. And so in this lifetime, we're here to learn things and have lessons, accumulate lessons. And so for you, your primarily lesson in this lifetime is resources. You feel what I'm saying? The learning how to accumulate resources, right? But also learning how to utilize resources properly and effectively. You feel what I'm saying? Like these things that we're doing down here on this earth plane, even though it may look mundane or like shallow or bullshit, whatever, you feel what I'm saying? It's like at the end of the day, these things we're doing on earth are for later experiences we'll be diving into, if this makes sense. You feel me? Like you're on earth practicing for things that will take place later. I hope that makes sense. It's kind of like school, right? Like you go to school to prepare for the real world, right? You're in this world and you're going through certain experiences that are preparing you for the higher realms, right? Rather than saying the real world, the higher realms. You feel what I'm saying? And so that's why you can look at your birth chart, and I resonate with certain things because your birth chart is your curriculum. It's the lessons you're here to learn in this lifetime. And so also Saturn is in Pisces. Saturn is in Pisces in the second house. So Pisces is a sign, you feel me? It's the sign of, not a sign, but the sign, rather, I should say. So Pisces is the sign that deals with, God damn. It's a sign that deals with, it deals with beliefs, you feel me? But yeah, it deals with beliefs and perceptions, you know. It deals with the emotional aspect of beliefs, is what I should rather say. Um, and so Saturn here, um, it goes back to what I was saying earlier about like the beliefs needing to be reassessed. But furthermore, also one's individual, not one's individual, yeah, one's perception on their relationship with, whether that's like God, a higher force, source, or like their relation with like the collective consciousness energy, you feel me? Because when Saturn goes into Pisces, you know, these are sorts of, because Pisces is a sign that's very sacrificial, you know, self-sacrificial. And so these are individuals that can become like sacrificed by others, you feel me? Unrecognized, like, yeah, sacrificed by others, unrecognized, you feel me? That type of energy. Because Pisces is a sign, you feel me, that deals with like, it also deals with like kindness and being centered in your heart, you feel me? But because Saturn is a planet of restriction and resistance, ultimately Pisces is a universal welfare sign. So it's a type of energy, right, with Saturn being here, where it's like um, growing up, even especially growing up, like Saturn deals with your past. Also, you had experiences, you feel me, that probably were of psychic in nature, which were spiritual in nature, you feel me? That hold on, sorry, I'm trying to think. Yeah, honestly, I apologize. I literally lost my train of thought. You feel what I'm saying? Um, yeah, what I was gonna say, I remember now, is that these experiences, whatever they were, ended up isolating you. You feel me, and making you alone and isolated. But then it's like, it's interesting because Aries is already a naturally isolated sign. Capricorn is a naturally isolated sign. So Saturn being in Pisces, like, it just adds to this isolation energy. You feel me? But I also feel like Saturn being in Pisces here, this is a like self discovery sort of energy, where it's like the native is asked to go through like integration with self. You feel me? As like Pisces doesn't specifically deal with self integration, it deals with integrating with God, surrendering to God, you feel me? But I feel like with you having that Sun in Aries, right, very much the I am energy becomes of importance and becomes relevant. And then with you having your ascendant in Capricorn, you feel me? I feel like, yeah, with this placement right here, it's very important that self integration, like you learn to integrate with yourself as well. Yeah, okay, hold on. I'm gonna look more into your chart. Um, then also we have like your moon, which is in the third house, you feel me? So with your moon being in your third house, the third house is a house that deals with friendships around your neighborhood. You feel me? So you're probably very connected and associated with your neighbors, your friends, like that. You feel what I'm saying? Or just naturally you're a friendly person. The third house is also very a communication type of house, and it deals with transportation. So in this house, you're probably the sort of person who um, it's a necessity to explore your environment. You feel what I'm saying? And like know and understand where you are with the moon being in the third house. But this is also a mental house, you feel me? So mentally you have great gifts, abilities, and talents, you feel me? and you should invest in your mental skills and abilities. And so these mental skills and abilities also manifest through like writing. You feel me? Yeah, through like writing. Like you may be a great writer. You feel what I'm saying? Um, but yeah, so let's conclude this reading by speaking a little bit on your ascendant. But before we speak on your ascendant, I want to talk about like so every sign has a thought trend, you feel me? And Aries' thought trend is the I am, you feel me? Aries are the ones that are most infatuated with themselves and the I and the me, you feel me? It's all about the self discovery with Aries. Taurus is a sign of possession. Its thought trend is I have. You feel me? And it's all about possessing things, having things. You feel me? So it goes Aries and Taurus. That's how they're organized, the signs. So Aries is self-actualization, self-realization, becoming aware of your presence, of your existence, that you are an individual. You feel what I'm saying? And then Taurus is starting to possess things, starting to take things, you feel me? And then Gemini is starting to become aware that you are somewhere, you feel me? You're taking things, but then like from where you're taking, there's an environment. But that's another story. We don't need to get into Gemini, you feel me? So yeah, that's Taurus. But then, and those are your sun and your moon. Your sun is Aries, the I am. Taurus is your moon, the I have. And then your ascendant is in Capricorn. Capricorn's thought trend is I use, I utilize. It's all about utility. Capricorn is all about looking around and seeing within their environment the opportunities manifested not only in the environment but also the people within the environment and how they can use them. You feel me? Capricorns are very diplomatic people. They can be deceptive negatively. You feel me? And so with your ascendant being in Capricorn, this makes it that like this makes an energy where it's like you kind of go through world with this sense and this awareness of the reality of life, this understanding of like the harshnesses of life, because you and of yourself have gone through some hardships, especially with your sun being in Aries. But like with your moon being in Taurus, you're a peaceful person who can go through the storm, and it's like no matter what the fuck is going on, you can keep a calm. You feel me? So that's the cool thing about the moon in Taurus. It makes stability emotionally, and thus, as within, so without. So people with the moon in Taurus are inclined towards physical stability. They need physical stability as well. You feel what I'm saying? For them to function. But yeah, you feel me? So like that's the thing with the Capricorn. They're very grounded into reality and down on earth, and it's like they're more good with the things of the world, like things like getting a job, you feel me? Things like being practical, things like being, grounded, and having a routine, or things like pursuing goals, you feel what I'm saying, are very much in tune with the Capricorn energy. And so with this energy here, it's like you'd be great in opening up a business, in the sense that people would already naturally be inclined towards listening to you. But at the same time, because of its professionalism, Capricorn has an ability, to like soar through the the corporate ladder. You feel me? So there is great success in corporate as well with this Capricorn energy. But yeah, I would say that pretty much concludes this reading for you. Thank you. I hope that you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think. And I'd definitely be happy to dive deeper into your birth chart, whenever you're ready. Mind you, so this was a donation-based reading. With the donation-based reading, I kind of look at the chart and break things down, as they come to me. But with the full reading, which I would recommend you getting, I sit down, I study the birth chart, I take notes on where everything is, you feel what I'm saying? And then once noted, I sit down, I record like I'm doing right now, and I break down everything about your chart, you feel me? The full reading is 3 hours long, you feel what I'm saying? And yeah, it's very valuable to have, as it's a breakdown of your energies So then you have an awareness of what you're working with. You feel me? But yeah, peace, peace, peace. Definitely let me know what you thought about this reading as well.